Hi guys, well, welcome back to another movie review, and in this video I'll be reviewing the movie Smile. Now Smile came out last October of 2022, was a box office success. It made 217 million worldwide. Basically in the movie, Sosie Bacon, daughter of Kevin Bacon, she plays a psychiatrist named Rose, and essentially she meets a woman named Laura who gets admitted, and then Laura explains to Rose that she witnessed the professor kill himself, and then strangely, basically Laura has a meltdown, a psychotic breakdown. She then ends up making direct eye contact with Rose, and then after smiling, she ends up carving into herself and subsequently kills herself. And then down the track, Rose, after taking a little bit of time off work, she ends up having these bizarre visions, and then she learns she's actually been cursed by a demonic spirit, which had also cursed Laura prior to her death. And then essentially, Rose learns that all the people who had been cursed by this spirit all died in the same way, by smiling after looking at someone directly and then carving into themselves. Now, this movie was the theatrical directorial debut of Parker Finn. I think Parker Finn did a great job directing this movie. This movie, the way it was shot, I thought was spectacular. It looked, well, essentially the visual style of the movie I thought was very, very gripping and very immersive. One of the big standouts in this movie, in my opinion, was Sosie Bacon. I think her facial expressions were fantastic. She did a very good job at invoking fear. Like through her facial expressions, she did an excellent job at actually making us feel scared for her. Essentially, her facial expressions made us, the audience, feel scared for her. And essentially, this movie had some great, awesome scares as well. I thought some very, very awesome scares, and also it was a little bit bloody at times as well. So if you're about 16 or younger, maybe don't watch the movie right now. But this movie did have a bit of gore in it. At the same time, however, it did a very good job at invoking horror, and some scenes were very suspenseful. This movie did have a lot of excellent suspense as well. Some great horror scenes. I thought, Sosie Bacon, as already mentioned, did a fantastic job. I thought Caitlin Stasey at the very beginning of the movie, who played Laura, did an excellent job as well, even though she wasn't in the movie for very, very long, only at the very beginning, although her character is actually featured on the movie's main poster. Any gripes? Look, I thought the ending was a little bit, without spoiling, well, if you haven't seen the movie, don't keep watching, but essentially this movie does end on a cliffhanger. Essentially, Rose ends up succumbing to her curse after trying to avert her death. She proves to be unsuccessful, and she actually transfers the curse onto her ex-partner. So I thought the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger annoyed me a little bit. Not too much, but I thought the ending was a tiny bit of a letdown, because I was hoping that Rose would find a way to actually overcome her curse, even though all the previous people who'd suffered the same curse died. I was hoping she'd find a way to actually overcome her curse. Now, I understand a sequel is in development, although I do wish this movie did not end on a cliffhanger. Going back to the movie, I thought, as I already mentioned, some great horror scenes, some great scares. I thought that the background score was also spectacular. The background score also did an awesome job at making us, the audience, feel very scared for Rose and what's going to happen next. Another tiny gripe I had, I thought that some scenes could have been stretched out a little bit longer. It sort of felt like some of the scenes were cut a little bit short, and had they been a little bit longer, there may have been a little bit more tension from time to time. This movie did have some great tension, although I think the tension would have been at times even better had some scenes actually gone on for a little bit longer. That's just my personal opinion. But overall, really enjoyed this movie. An 8 out of 10. I thought the acting was superb. I thought the performances were excellent. I thought the way it was shot, like the visual style of the movie, was great. I think Parker Finn did a great job. Sosie Bacon, for me, was the highlight of this movie. I also enjoyed in the movie Robin Weigert. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. She was also in Sons of Anarchy, and she was also in the movie Pawn Sacrifice. I think she did a pretty good job in the scene she was in. Wasn't in for too long, but yeah, this movie had some great horror, some great suspense, a couple of decent twists. I thought it was quite bloody at times. So again, if you're quite young, I'd probably stay away from watching it. But overall, yeah, really enjoyed this movie. An 8 out of 10. One of my top 10 favorite movies of 2022. Not my favorite movie of 2022. That was Top Gun Maverick. And there were a few other movies I preferred in 2022, such as Top Gun Maverick or the Batman. Or I actually really enjoyed Black Panther Wakanda Forever as well. That was one of my favorite movies of the year as well. But overall, 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't seen it already. It was a box office success, which is great because generally speaking, movies like Smile don't get made as much anymore. And the fact this movie was a box office success means that we'll get us, the audience, will get more movies like this in the future. Because without supporting these if we don't support these movies, they won't continue getting made. But yeah, really enjoyed this movie. 8 out of 10. Go check it out. I think you'll love it. If you're into horror, if you don't like horror, then no, this won't be your cup of tea. But if you're a horror fan, then you will definitely enjoy Smile. 8 out of 10. Go check it out and stay tuned for more reviews very, very soon. And be sure to subscribe. Take care, guys, and have an awesome day. Bye.